One of the Big 12's best coaches, Kalani Sitake, left. And then he came back. Texas Tech, BYU, Big 12 championship. So many storylines to get to. Why isn't Utah in the big game? We'll cover it all. This is the Dose Grande Squad.
You're talking ball with the Big 12 squad. From Oklahoma State to Utah, from Kansas State to BYU, from Houston to Texas Tech, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big 12 weekend. Buckle up. It's the Big 12 squad, and we have a seat for you. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up. You're part of the Big 12 squad.
Happy Thursday night. No hurt feelings, no thin skin. It's just, I meant to kick you out of the show and have a big intro for you. Darian Gray, the mouth of the South. Indeed. Locked on Horned Frogs. Also joined by Kevin Borba, Locked on Buffs. Cody Stovall, Locked on Oklahoma State. Christian Wow, no Row, Locked on Kansas State. He is 17 years old, but he's got his driver's license. Nick Maravets. You can get a 1099 as a 17-year-old, I think. He's Locked on Cyclones. And then the man who had at least 7 NFL players in the starting 11 on the offense, but missed a bowl game, Cameron Stewart, Locked on Baylor. Chris Level, there he is, the consummate professional, the all-star journalist, covers Texas Tech with Locked on Red Raiders. Locked on Texas Tech is Chris Level. They're going to the Big 12 championship. Level, let's start with you. Kalani Sitake left BYU and then unleft BYU. You're the journalist of the group. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, when you have leverage, use it.
Amen.
Yeah, when
Tell
you
that
have
to the
leverage,
kids
use
in
it.
high school, man.
I think, yeah, that's right. I think he had. I think he wanted to have his situation be similar to what Texas Tech is doing. NIL.
Well, can I pause for
that's a pro right there. That's a pro.
Yes, he wants to be closer to Texas Tech. I think everybody does here. $7 million for Joey is not that many $1 million if Lane is signing 13 and Penn State was offering 11. Why is it only $7 million?
Two things. One, I think there is easily attainable bonuses that would grow that salary in any given year.
Hear that, Cam? Easily attainable. Just all you got to do is make the playoff. That's it.
I also think that was the lower number was on purpose to ensure that his staff was taken care of and his players.
Okay,
they're getting 10 to 15 million for NIL as well. Like they're.
You talking about BYU? You talking about BYU?
Yeah, BYU.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is what I think that he had them over a barrel a bit. And hey, look, man. 110,000 seat stadium in a big league like the Big Ten, and if they're 11-1 in that league, we're not even having a conversation about you need to win and get in. It's already a done deal, and he had leverage and he used it. Good for him, and I think it's great for the Big 12. I did not want to see him leave this league. I think it would have been bad for the league, and so I think everybody wins here.
So okay, let's pick one. We'll throw a dart at the board. Christian. Why doesn't Kansas State do this? Why doesn't Kansas State throw a bag at the football program the way that BYU just did?
That's a great question. I mean, you could dig into management on that one. You could dig into, the way that right now Kansas State is they're just pointing their fingers in different directions and hoping something sticks. If you want to talk about darts on the wall, they're more worried about blaming injuries or blaming the fact that they don't have enough money for that to work. So I think all of these older brands in the Big 12, and if there's one of the older brands in the Big 12 that want to step up and say that's not the case, let me know, want to get up to be where the Texas Techs and BYUs are, but they are falling behind, dare I say.
So, okay, then fine. The dart goes to the board again. Cam, why is Baylor, a private university who has the former owner of the Houston Astros in your back pocket, and by the way, Bill Gates, anyone heard of him? Why do we, Jim and Joanna, why do we see Texas Tech and BYU in seemingly their own stratosphere when the big money private Christian schools, hey, Darian, can't seem to do the same?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even shade, but you can ask TCU the same thing. We're pretty similar, except TCU is making is just maximizing their talent way better than Baylor is, like immensely.
And they still want to fire the coach.
Yeah, their standards are immensely better. Like, I hate this, man. And honestly, I can't believe I didn't think about this till now, but this whole time we've done the squad show, I could have just stolen everybody's takes and used them the day before this came out. So then it would look like they were stealing my takes. You know, like Level had such a thing back there that I wanted to use on a show. And I was like, technically, I could get that out before this comes out. And so then it will look like Level's just copying me.
You know what?
You know?
You know what? I respect you for telling us.
Yeah, that's good foreshadowing.
That's like a year and a half of squad shows. I never picked that up.
Is that ethical or is that regret? Like, what is the fine line you're towing right there?
He's at Baylor. Calm down with the ethical word.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, Cam, how's the athletic director down there doing?
What's he wearing? Do we know?
Did you ever hear, was there ever anything come your way about Jared Mosley at North Texas being?
No, not really.
Okay, yeah.
Level one came your way.
Give me something to report. Give me
Yeah,
something to report on Wednesday's
So
show.
let's go, Level.
Yeah.
Hey, Level with us, Chris.
Yeah, that
Of
was.
course I do, but can you say it like you don't? Just humor me.
Yeah, no, that was I mean, I think there.
He
was
would have been number 2 on my list.
Well, I mean, and again, it was a Jared Mosley, Eric Morris package deal kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
and Baylor said 2 interim ADs and Dave Aranda are way better than that, baby.
And I don't know why. I just knew that was kind of the because Eric was, I think, very intrigued by that option.
Yeah.
Gonna crash
Tell
out
them all
until
about it,
Thursday.
Chris Level.
That's what's going to happen.
Tell them about it, baby.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, but that's not what happened.
Therein lies, and it's an interesting way to start the show on Thursday. But I know for those who are for like Level for your show, for those who listen to BYU content, like there's been plenty of talk about the Big 12 championship. I genuinely want to know what is keeping, and I think this is what the squad show's for, is to go past the big headline for the week and the hit. What is keeping Darian, Nick, Borba, your schools from pumping $30 million into NIL and saying, I want to build a Texas Tech roster? Why are you not doing that? Yes, Borba.
The Sports Business Journal reported today that Colorado's athletic department is down, projecting a $27 million deficit this year. So I don't know if that's necessarily in the cards for them. I think Deion Sanders, of all people, he's his
own GDP. Like, I don't
get
it.
I just feel like he should be like hitting up his millionaire friends and being like, hey, like, why not give me some money? Like, I think it comes down to fundraising. I think it comes down to alternative ways to get money. Like, although Texas Tech is like the leading standard right now, they have the most niche fundraising ever because they have a guy who hit it in oil. Like, not everyone can do that. Like, not every program has $27 million. Not great, right? So like, not everyone
$9 million for win.
You just have to find your niche of like Baylor. I don't know how much Chip and Joe are worth, but like if they were that avid of fans, like.
And I would say this too, like as far as like TCU and Baylor go, they've had success and big success. Like Texas Tech has not. So that was part of the motivation here to. You're a bit starved and like you just want to push forward and like all these things. And TCU played for the national championship a few years ago. Baylor was playing in New Year's Day bowls and things like that. So Texas Tech hasn't experienced that. So I think that's part of what the motivation at least was here. But so anyway, I don't know if that clears anything up, but I think that's part of why the money was motivated here as much as anything.
Yeah, I think that's
with Michigan too. I think they had like a billionaire. Yeah, they had like a billionaire who was just like wanted someone to be invested. They were like, "Finally, we'll give you money."
Before we get
Underwood,
before we get to segment 2, real quick, Drake, I wanted to say, as it pertains to the BYU AD, it's a good thing that they got this thing figured out, because I would imagine that if he screwed this up, Mr. Santiago would have got a swift kick in the nutsack and sent on the rail to the other part of the country. I know he's a basketball guy, and I know they got the top basketball player in the country, and they're investing heavily, but you cannot lose Kalani Sitake to the Penn State. that completely dashes any chances of you even being in the CFP conversation. If they beat Texas Tech and Kalani Sitake's out, that's going to be their justification, or it would have been, to keep them out of the playoffs. So it's a good thing that Mr. Santiago figured this out.
Yeah, this is certainly one of the top coaches in the Big 12. But this is one of the biggest names you've got in this conference. I don't think that's arguable, and I do believe that keeping him is good for the conference overall. But he almost left, and probably for good reason. Let's spend a little time on that, because I think the oddity of this story, how weird this thing got over the course of the week, is the most intriguing part. This is the Dos Grande Squad. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Aura Frames. Look, it is the #1 gift. Last year for Christmas, I gave my grandma an Aura frame. She loved it. It was her favorite thing. She could sit there and just bloop, bloop, new picture. Wherever I'm going, wherever I'm traveling, I live 2,000 miles away, and it didn't matter. Her Aura frame was sitting right there with all kinds of pictures of me and the family and everybody else that we love and care for. You can go right now and give the best Christmas gift possible, AURA Frames. Aura isn't your average picture frame. You could preload, I should say, the frame with photos before gifting it, so when they plug it in, the memories are already there, especially grandparents. Endless photos, endless uploads of pictures, and 30-second videos to the Aura app. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. auraframes.com, promo code college. Use my promo code college at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Support this show at auraframes.com. College is your promo code, Aura Frames. This is one of my favorite stories that I've covered in a while, and it's because one of the top head coaches, second or third best head coach, maybe first best in the Big 12, was leaving. Handshake, I'm gone, smell ya. Team meeting is set up. And then software engineer mogul, cookie guy, Qualtrics, whatever that means. I got a call tonight from a source who said, hey, they went past the AD. They basically said, you sit this one out. We are the money. Pairing with the church, a whole religion, they decided without the AD, we're going to make sure Kalani Sitake is set. Level, you've covered the Big 12 for a long time. We'll go to the journalist again. Is this the craziest 6 hours, 18 hours of a coaching search we've seen in the Big 12?
Well, I mean, I can't speak to the minutia of it like, you or Jake or whoever was in the middle of it. But what you said is actually fairly normal these days as it relates to who is in charge. The folks that are funding a lot of this, they have a lot of say. They are, quote unquote, team presidents or general managers in a different term, or team owners, if you will, and that they are the ones that are making or involved in most of these decisions on a lot of things. And so that part doesn't. I mean, you knew when the crumble guy was like. I mean, yeah. Some folks are unreplaceable. It sounds like I need to get to work. I mean,
hold my ladle.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that's just how it operates these days. And administrators at schools have to give way to these folks and let them be a part of decisions, whether they want to or not, because you're in. It's different at some places than it is others, but these, an AD, a school president, assistant AD, whatever, they're figureheads in a lot of ways, but they also are the glue that kind of keeps it together and brings certain people into the mix depending on what the issue is. But that doesn't surprise me at all that's the route that they went. Like, hey, let's figure it out. This is the guy we want. We're going to fund it. The end.
Okay, so Cody, for you, this coaching search where Eric Morris is the guy. By the way, I think that Oklahoma State's in a better spot than some SEC schools. You've got a quarterback now, a running back. You're going to have, like Indiana had with their James Madison transfers, a basis for winning next year. Is this the AD? Is this the president? Or is this the ghost of T. Boone Pickens saying, here's who we're going to go get?
No, I think the collective that he's bringing alongside him, speaking of Raj Murthy, that is an individual, 24 years old. He's a very, very good mind. He got to study football under Dana Holgorsen. He's going to bring a different level of exposure.
Nick, aren't you 24?
I am 24. Yes, I just turned.
So happy birthday.
Good mind. Good mind.
Be the next Raj Murthy.
Catch up.
Yeah. But I think that we're talking about the finances. We'll have to wait to see if it's true, but we're hearing some things in Stillwater that Oklahoma State is prepared to spend 18 to 28 mil on this particular roster, just because they know they have to influx a crap ton of talent into this roster, on top of bringing Drew Mestamaker and Caleb Hawkins and Wyatt Young and some of those defensive individuals. I think Oklahoma State is positioning themselves, but it's following the Texas Tech model, and now BYU seemingly is doing the same thing. I think everybody in the league is going to have to do this once, right? Cody Campbell talked about the reason we're going to spend 30 mils because we don't know if we're ever going to be able to do it again, right? Yeah. And it got them this roster that has now put them on a pedestal that they're going to be able to utilize to recruit off of, so they don't have to spend quite as much in the future. I think Oklahoma State's in that position now. We're going to spend somewhere between BYU and Texas Tech money just to kind of get everything off the ground. But if you don't have success, I don't think that you can do it again. Oklahoma State's in the same position. We can't give another, say, 25, 30 mil 3 years from now. If it doesn't work, it's going to go pretty south.
And Eric is well aware of how it's being done here. He played with Cody, and they're friends. I mean, they've been friends for a long time.
You could have had that, Cam.
Yep.
That could have been your head coach right there. Just letting you know that. But you don't even have an athletic director to even hire the head coach, do you? Huh?
Or a 4-star wide receiver.
Come on, say it. Say, I don't have an athletic director. Come on, say it.
Hey, Cam, did all of that craziness with the AD, do you think that had a hand in some of the Dave Aranda workings?
Sorry, I blacked out for a minute. What did you say?
If
I said your hair looks nice.
Some people are.
I know that's not true.
Cam, if some people are, a little more careful with their marriage, is Dave Aranda fired?
Yes. Yeah. Right? Like he'd have to be.
Okay. That's where I'll leave that.
And so
is the Big 12 safe now that the BYU's coach doesn't go anywhere, or is Campbell going to Penn State, or good old Dave Aranda?
I thought Campbell was going to Arkansas. Campbell is going to Virginia Tech. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
I know Christian would be devastated if Chris Kleiman ever left Kansas State. And it
would hurt my feelings.
Jerome Tang with him.
Yeah, if Matt Wells was promoted to head coach, it would hurt my feelings very much. Yes.
Oh, my Lanta.
That's the Chris level experience right there. Before we get to the final segment, Level, not Level, Bor, but let's go to you with the same question I given Level and Soball here. So we've seen this kind of investment, right? And we've seen the AD passed over in situations. Your head coach is separate the university here. Like, your head coach is his own entity, his own thing, his own GDP. You can't fire him. You can't get rid of him unless he leaves. You're stuck for better or worse.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part with the Deion Sanders experiment is when it goes right, it's great, right? Everyone's watching. You're on national television every week. Even this year, they were nationally televised every week, and they haven't won a game in over a month. Shout out Nick. But realistically, you have to be able to have the buy-in from Deion Sanders, because unlike, I would say, the rest of these schools, Deion Sanders is operating as the czar of the program, right? He has the ability to have his own documentary being filmed. He has the ability to sell his own personal merchandise. He's probably the only coach that's famous enough to have his own personal merchandise, but you have to be willing to get the buy-in from him, and he has to feel that from somewhere else. And like right now, Colorado's at a point where he's probably going to have to fire 5 to 6 coaches. They don't have an athletic director yet. So Colorado is in a weird spot, and I don't really know how you get someone to invest their money because, and Chris, you could attest to this more than anyone, Cody Campbell's a little different because obviously he played at Texas Tech, but the guys who are giving these programs money, they don't gain anything out of this. They get the satisfaction of cool, my alma mater or my favorite school is winning. But if a program like Deion Sanders right now, I feel like a lot of people are questioning his buy-in. Why would people want to give him $20-30 million if they feel like he's going to dash any day now? That is sort of the big problem. And the holdup with Baylor or TCU is why give them money if we don't trust that they're going to succeed?
This is exactly what Cody has been dealing with Mike Gundy. And so the money kind of dried up, or hey, we'll wait on the next guy, kind of thing.
Yep. And yeah, you just got to get people to be all in, give their money away without. Yeah, as easy as it sounds, right? Just give me your
Look,
money.
Personally, I listen to every Dave Aranda press conference, and I don't know how they're not giving him the money because he just is spot on with every.
No idea, like what the hell I'm doing. I have no idea.
And there he is.
How could you not fund that, right? Like, fearless leader.
They kept him. They kept him. It's so unbelievable. 35 and 36, below 500. It's awesome. Coming up, can we get the right two teams?
Hey, 36 and 37. Come on.
36 wins.
That's one more win.
Yep.
And another loss.
Coming up, did the Big 12 get the right two teams? Or Utah, a healthy Arizona State? I mean, is BYU fool's gold? Because that's what the playoff committee tells me left on Big 12. DC.
Baylor.
Hey, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is exactly where I go for this Big 12 championship game to say, look, I do think Texas Tech's going to win, but by 14 points, that's a good chunk. They did it the first time, but the ball bounces the other way once, twice. 14 is a lot. So I'm going to go to FanDuel. I'm going to go plus 14 for BYU. Texas Tech wins by 7 or 10 or 3, but BYU covers. And with NFL being here as well, the Sundays move fast. The Saturdays are still moving fast, and FanDuel makes it so exciting. Live spreads, money lines, and they all adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up, or your prayer props if you're a BYU fan. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more if you want to be the right and in the right now. FanDuel.com. Place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. FanDuel is the exact place to go right now. FanDuel, you can play right now. No JT Westerstell, so we can have the conversation a bit more unabridged here.
Do you want me to take my hat off so it feels like JT's here?
You're getting close. I've seen the hairline, and it's not.
If that's dissing JT, that's dissing myself as well.
Can we get a hairline review?
Come on, do it. Show him.
Only when Baylor gets another flip.
Oh.
Should we just wait till tomorrow to record this?
I think.
Well, I don't even know if you need to wait that long. Yeah.
It's the sign of recession at Baylor is having a punter who's up for the Ray Guy Award.
Recession.
That's just the ultimate. I think, was it 20 years ago? Sepulveda?
Daniel Sepulveda.
That's
a Super Bowl champion you're talking about.
Like 2-10, but he wins the Ray Guy Award. He's punter of the year.
He was unbelievable.
And this year, Baylor's this
He was
close
like their only All-American for like a decade.
to the Ray Guy Award again for punter of the year. It's just it's the sign of the economy.
And it might be another decade before they have another All-American, if we're being honest.
It probably will be.
Dave Riddle is one guy in the NFL from Baylor. Sick.
Did we get it right? Because the playoff committee would say no. Did the Big 12 get it right with BYU being here? Or is this a virtue of playing teams the right time with an easy schedule, with a downtrending Cincinnati or downtrending TCU or ebbing and flowing schools? Is BYU the right product to have in the Big 12 championship? Christian,
absolutely. They should have been in it last year too.
They're 22-3 over the last 2 years. They're 22-3. I mean, I don't know what anybody would want.
Christian,
the scheduling part though is interesting. What you just said. Imagine if the Holy War was on rivalry week, how people would think differently about BYU if BYU would win last week against Utah.
And Utah would be a one-loss team. They're probably both sitting around, like 8, 9, 10 range.
And Utah had given up 1,000 yards rushing in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Drake, could you reach out to Brett Yormark? Make sure he listens to this episode.
I don't think Brett Yormark is going to ever listen to anything Locked On Big 12 Squad, but thank you, Cody.
Sorry,
the Holy War. If the Holy War was at the end of the season and you were playing a fringe college football playoff team like Utah, who of course fell down to 15, but still fringe, instead of playing whoever they played the final week of the season, what was it, UCF?
Kansas.
If you would have played that instead of them,
BYU, BYU.
You would have thought differently. You would have thought differently about BYU just a little bit more in the eyes of the committee. Recency bias is a huge thing. We all know that.
So the risk that the Big 12 takes, and here's where I do see what Brett Yormark's trying to do, is if you play a rivalry week, then this weekend of the year, you would either disqualify BYU or Utah. You would kick one of the two out of contention for an at-large. If you play them with 4 weeks to go, they now have the opportunity, as Utah was on its way to doing and then fell apart, to beat teams by 40. And what have you done for me lately? Each of these teams has won 3 straight, 4 straight, and that loss is a mulligan. We can, because we treat a lot of SEC losses. So if you build a rivalry week, you can do what you just did to A&M, kick them out of the SEC championship and disqualify them from an opportunity to have a bye in the playoff. And honestly, if BYU wins, there's a chance A&M no longer hosts a college football playoff game either.
But did it actually work? Because Utah got beat by BYU, and then every game afterwards, they averaged 51 points a game, and they're still nowhere to be found in that 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need the rivalry week established, and recency bias is the most important thing in the college football playoff. I don't really care what anyone says. Like they adjusted a lot of the teams. They put Texas over Vanderbilt, right? They made sure to sort of go back and correct mistakes that they made in the past weeks. So had we had that game this past week, like Christian said, BYU probably gets in because this isn't a two-bid league. Like there's a lot that needs to happen. I think El Gato joined us for a second. Sorry.
I got so upset about Iowa being at 23. That's it.
That's the first time we talked. That's the first
You're
time we
having
talked.
10-1. You're having 10-1 BYU against 10-1 Utah the final week of the season. The winner of that's probably getting in the college football playoffs, at least in the top 10.
What if the
probably
Big 12
passing Notre Dame?
What if the Big 12 did their rivalry week the same week the SEC plays the Green Puffs?
Or maybe you just don't have rivalry week in Dublin.
great.
Let's start there.
What if
Maybe help.
so made it a point to play the best G5 teams? So that way you have like schedule a James Madison, a Boise State, a North Texas year in and year out for each one of these teams. So that way you hang that win on the board. I feel
A
like
level. Boise State, we could get a package deal there.
Yeah, there you
AD
go.
and football coach.
There you go.
37-year-olds, but the
You-
coach
you-
in his third straight Mountain West Conference championship game.
His mind hasn't left that since you said it, Chris.
I know you're looking for
Good job.
package deals.
I'm
Yeah.
just look.
Yeah.
It's all right there, man.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Is that I was of the mind preseason that the Big 12 should only play Mercer, Samford, and Western Kentucky like a lot of these SEC schools do.
Yeah.
But now it might just not be the case. Like if BYU had a win in the non-conference against Notre Dame, then this wouldn't be a conversation. They're in easily.
Well, I think if they play
Even
on
if it's
rivalry
not
week
back
in the Holy War, that it does accentuate the point that they probably get in as well because the recency bias matters, and we need that marketability in the
that's
Big
true.
12.
And
We're
what
never
happened
gonna
to that
get
Notre
nothing
Dame
without
BYU
the
game?
conference.
What happened to that too? Wasn't there a game scheduled? I think there was. Somebody
I-
bailed out. Wasn't
the Big-
BYU.
The Big 12 is in a position where they have to do the opposite of what Texas is crying and doing now, because Texas is taking their ball and going home because they played Ohio State and they're completely ignoring their loss to Florida. So Texas is saying, you know what, we're not going to play anyone hard, so we'll just win out against everyone else and don't worry about the challenge games. I think the Big 12 has to do the opposite, right? We have to.
Yeah.
I think they should cancel Georgia from their schedule too. I mean,
Yeah,
while they're at it, just
Well, and they're glossing over the fact
you.
that I think Texas and A&M both only have one win against the top 6 of the SEC teams. So their
Combined,
biggest wins are against the bottom half of the conference. It's crazy.
Whereas
Their
BYU,
first 5 SEC, Texas A&M's first 5 SEC wins were against all SEC coaches that were fired this year.
Yeah,
Hold
that
on.
is nuts.
And then
That is a
BYU
true
loses
stat.
to Tech.
I haven't thought. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Like BYU played a tougher Big 12 schedule than Texas Tech, and their only loss.
did they?
Was to
Yeah,
Texas
yeah,
Tech.
I mean, like,
Okay,
yeah,
you got to fill me in there.
So that's where the BYU played more 8-win teams, more 7-8-win teams than Texas Tech did.
Okay, so Utah, Arizona State,
Arizona, either of them.
yeah, Houston. Yeah, I don't.
You gotta factor in.
I mean, I know
Tech plays
who
those
Texas
teams on the
Tech play.
road.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway, but you got beat by 22. What do you want me to do?
No doubt. So BYU
Yeah.
loses to Texas Tech, but if you say you play a better or worse or comparable, right around what Texas Tech did, if you want to go there
Okay.
before we pull it up, and your losses to Texas Tech. Texas Tech's losses to Arizona State, who's outside the top 25. I think Tech we
With a
gave
backup
Tech,
quarterback on the road.
no doubt, and so we gave Tech a mulligan, right? We gave Tech the hey, you're still a national championship caliber team. We're going to overlook this. You're number 4 in the country. But this other team who has one loss in the same conference, and your one loss is to a much better team on the road.
Yeah.
We don't give them any respect at all. Like one gets a mulligan, the other.
Points of margin of victory or whatever. Margin of victory, excuse me.
Yeah,
BYU,
that's the scary thing here is that Texas Tech has, well, I think Hunter Yurachek he said that on the deal earlier in the week that I think you've beaten everybody by at least 20 points and it's an average of 35 points. And like, so if you're not doing that though, you're probably in a similar boat to BYU. and that's not a good
You think?
precedent for the Big 12 to be in. I'll be honest with you. Your
Which is
11
exactly
wins.
what
Yeah.
you guys were saying, like schedule harder opponents. I've actually flipped the other way. I think you go like the Indiana route, play a bunch of cream puffs and beat them by 80, and everyone thinks you're really good because they haven't been proven that they're not. So you can't say, well, they lost to so-and-so because they didn't lose. They just played nobodies.
I want to let me throw some.
Different conference.
Let me throw this out.
Right. Yes. In conference, you can't fight that. But my point.
No, I'm saying it's a
who's the
different
Ohio
conference.
State
We don't get the benefits.
Who's
Yeah,
the Ohio
Oh,
State?
agreed.
Darren, what do you got there? Yeah, Darian.
Who's the Ohio State? Because yes, Indiana is able to schedule these cream puffs, but then you point to the Ohio State victory, and I do think that that allows them to have a little bit of room. Like I want to real quick jump on Texas because everybody's saying, "Oh, well, we just won't schedule Ohio State," and I think Level brought it up. You're skipping over the fact that you got beat bad by Georgia. You just want to disregard the Florida win, but here's the other part that people are disregarding. You could have won. It's not as if the game was rigged in that Texas just had to lose. The risk comes in. And tell me, is scheduling tough out-of-conference games supposed to be just extra credit to where you win and we boost you up? If you lose, we act like it doesn't matter? Yes, if Ohio State would have lost to Texas, they'd be in because they didn't lose to anybody else. But Texas lost to Ohio State, then lost to Florida, who at that time we knew Florida was garbage. It's not like they lost to a Florida we thought was good and then they got garbage. No, they lost to a bad Florida. And then they lost to Georgia badly. Like these are things that play a part. And then to just the idea of going the cream puff schedule, I think that only works. I don't think that helps you get two teams in. That just puts you in a position where you have to win the conference.
Such an interesting point for Arizona State. If they don't play Mississippi State on the road, an SEC team on the road, not a bad SEC team, but if there's not the Hail Mary that Blake Shapen hits, Cam, good to see you, that Blake Shapen hits to win the game for the Bulldogs, I mean, if let's say that they beat Arizona and they're sitting at 10-2, then right now they got a bad loss like Texas does to so-and-so, to a top 15 team, and their other loss, or they have a win against Texas Tech, their other losses, whoever, like where do they sit at 10-2? Right, I think there's always going to be the Big 12 bias that keeps. There's something about the Big 12 logo that even if your strength of record, which the SEC screamed for last year, BYU is like number 6 in the country.
And like some of these SEC teams, like see this Ohio State game for Texas. This is their 9th conference game. They're only playing 8 conference games. I mean, go look at the rest of their non-conference schedule. It's a joke.
UTEP,
St. Houston, San Jose State. I mean,
also. Change your schedule up. Play the harder teams later in the year because we all know that week 1 of college football is the most useless week in college football because we think teams are at. We thought Florida State was back,
but Borba, Notre Dame. Don't play the harder teams late in the year. Play the harder teams at the beginning of the year and lose to them, and then it doesn't count. It doesn't matter.
They're not in the Big 12 though.
Right. That's what it is. It's the Big 12. It's the logo.
That's
Big
it.
12. That's what it is.
Until we do something about it.
Logo for Notre Dame. They don't even have a logo on anything.
I mean, it is some sweet irony that Joey McGuire made some comment about he popped off about Notre Dame not being in a league and kind of they took the easy way out. They don't have to play in the conference championship game. They don't want to be in a league. And they are going to all be sitting there in their gold-domed homes this weekend rooting crazy for Texas Tech of all teams because if Texas Tech loses, BYU is in and Notre Dame would be out.
Yep.
Are they going to still not punish people for losing in championship games? Like, is that still going to happen? If Alabama loses, what happens?
The only way they'll punish you, they won't drop you out of the playoff. They'll move you around. Yeah. So like Clemson,
unless you just get hammered.
So Texas is going to throw the craziest fit ever because they're not getting it.
True, but what will happen is like if Texas Tech will say, for example, loses to BYU, they'll put BYU in at number 8 or number 7 and Texas Tech at number 8 or something along that. They'll maneuver it to where you don't play your conference in round 1. They have to. They've kind of made that.
Do we load manage and try to just let BYU get in? Rest for the playoff? Like, do we load manage here?
Tech's never won the Big 12 championship.
A great question that we will cover next week on the Big 12. So this has been
no.
And it always will be the longest version ever. Actually, this has been It Always Will Be. Please hit subscribe. It will help us keep our job locked on. And there he goes. The Locked On Dos Grande Squad.